Good afternoon.
Hey, good afternoon, everyone.
Bible Barbie had a little gathering today.
In her kind of tacky faux Chanel white ensemble, skirt was a bit too short, by the way, and it was like all sequiny and just not really appropriate. Anyway, I digress.
Okay. A couple interesting moments when the non-crony reporters asked some tough questions. They simply didn't answer and they moved on.
They just pretended they did. La 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 la.
Most striking was when the national security guy was asked if Zelensky was a dictator and was Putin a dictator. He simply did not answer. And when the reporter said, "But wait a sec," Barbie came in and was like, "No."
Literally, like, oh.
My favorite part.
What was that?
Was when the economy guy, the Joey White economy guy.
the Joey White economist. Yes.
He said, "Now we get to shower, flush toilets, and read by electric light."
Granddaddy, they have an electrical light.
Yeah.
We have indoor plumbing now, Granddaddy.
I didn't know we weren't doing that.
I just flushed a minute ago. I thought we were fine.
I think they know that they're losing public support for their shenanigans.
Yeah.
And because now Alonia is promising everyone a check.
A check for you. A check for you.
According to CNN article posted this morning, there's, quote, "There's even an under consideration a new concept where we give 20% of the Doge savings to American citizens and 20% goes to paying down debt." End quote.
Again, concepts. They're thinking about concepts of sending everyone a check. Really? Really? We're going to fall for that one?
And when Joey White guy, economy guy, was asked about, won't sending that money out actually add to inflation because people will be using it and then spending it? And he said, no.
Nay, he said.
No. They will be taking that money down to the savings and loan and pulling out their little red passbook and having the teller write down the deposit. Do you remember doing that?
Mine was a little blue passbook, and yes, I do.
Red, yeah.
I do remember doing that.
I do too.
Yeah.
Come on now. Is that what happened with all the COVID checks? No, like people
bought food and paid their rent.
Surprised no one asked about the no tax on tip and no tax on overtime because that's completely disappeared.
All's quiet on the no tax on tips thing.
A lot of harping on the fact that Ukraine only needs to give its minerals to the U.S. and land to Russia, and everything will be just fine.
Yeah, it's called colonization, kids.
Well, because one foundry alone in Ukraine can produce all the aluminum America needs.
That America needs. Colonization.
Let's not forget that there were enough potatoes in Ireland.
Yeah.
It's that the crown took them all.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
It wasn't a potato famine. It was the Great Hunger.
It was.
Hit Google on that.
It was stealing.
I'll be getting my Irish up as I think about it.
Okay. A couple things to remember. Captain Tiny Hands, or shall we call him King Tiny Hands?
I think we're going to call him
King Tiny Hands.
King Tiny Hands from now on.
Is not in charge of anything. He can't run for office again. He can't ignore the blah, blah, blah about how they're going to... It's not going to happen.
Flying monkeys, chaos.
Alonia wasn't elected, and he doesn't really care what you think about him, and that's something to worry about.
He got into a big spat with an actual astrophysicist this afternoon on his little platform that he bought about the space station. So we're not going to go into that right now, but that was fun. The man is unhinged.
Okay, so as scary as they try to be, and they are scary, we are going to have elections this fall.
Yep, and actually coming up on April Fool's Day, appropriately enough.
There are 3 special elections, and while those are red districts, there was a red district in Iowa that flipped. So
So hey, it could happen.
It could happen.
It could happen. So the 2 down in Florida, the 1 in New York, if you're in those districts, get out, do what you can,
Because?
Don't it make my brown eyes, don't it make my brown eyes, don't it make my brown eyes blue. All right, we'll talk to y'all later.